You know, I never really expected making art would impact my perspective so much. I literally just thought it was about, happy shapes, silly colors. I was and still am a naive little turd dancing from one craft project to another, as we usually do when we're young, but this type of thinking has always stuck with me, never left. Even when I went to college for art, it felt like I was the ugly duckling, focusing on the rhythm of my own beat, rather this awkward sense of competition that becomes established between peers. I think you guys know what I'm talking about, but why the hell would I stop having fun just to see if I can smell my farts better than the next guy? And I truly did think that for quite a while in life. To this day, I still rebel against unbridled intellectualism. We can get into that later. But I'm telling you, after my first fart smelling competition, I was hooked, dude. Makes zero sense. But in this situation, it took a handful of excellent professors in my academy to break down my stigma and help me see the true value of conceptual artwork. And now in the year of our Lord 2026, I can say with confidence that I am a conceptual artist, for the most part. Again, makes zero sense, let's get into it. It might not seem like it due to my silly shapes and happy colors in my work, but my artist statement derives explicitly from Gestalt psychology and how our awareness shapes our reality. Whew! I'll spare you all the half-baked PowerPoint presentation, but let's go ahead and explore these monumental themes inside my work. Gestalt psychology is the human attempt of figuring out how we form perspectives and store information as important or key components. Very broad. These are very broad ideas. Not broad like what construction workers used to call women, but broad, as in this idea is so overwhelmingly broad that Patt has to act it out through the usage of the word broad. See, your mind already knew which usage of broad I initially meant because of pattern recognition. And that's the premise for Gestalt. We form perspectives based on patterns, and most of the times these repetitions go by unnoticed, which can frame reality in ways that are seemingly out of our immediate control. This can limit our thinking and overall awareness to not just art, but life it is itself. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel that yes, stereotypes and patterns can be helpful. For instance, does the sushi I bought from the gas station smell like a sloth after partying at a 5-day music festival? It does? Okay, that's not good. We don't need to challenge the notion that this sushi ain't good for my tushi, because this is an extremely valid use of pattern recognition. But things aren't always so black and white. I have benefited greatly in life from examining things deeper that my pattern recognition would normally deter me from. Let's go back to sushi, all right? So first off, I'm buying sushi from a gas station. This ain't the place to buy sushi, dude. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I think gas station people seem like the kinds of people that buy hard boiled eggs pre-made at a huge markup. But this doesn't mean that the sushi sucks. I've honestly had some of the best sushi of my life from a gas station. And I'm sitting here right now, an alive human, to tell you it would have been a huge mistake if I didn't eat that sushi. It was glorious. It made me see the color yellow in new detail.
Let it brain riding on the digital wave. If I wipe out, I'll do it again.
It made me want to climb on top of a statue and shout the lyrics to a Frank Sinatra song. It made me believe in life again, guys. Okay, maybe not to that extent, but you definitely get my point. This is why I find it mandatory to examine things in life with an open mind. I don't even want to know how many amazing experiences I missed in life because my brain conjured up some false sense of certainty and I just willy-nilly walked off thinking I was a better person for avoiding it. This is where the practice of art making meets Gestalt. There is no greater playground to grow an awareness of your own thinking than making art. None that I've tried. Maybe it's something like skydiving or having a tickle fight with Mike Tyson, but to my limited experiences, I haven't grown my self-awareness through anything even closely remotely to being creative. Because art requires us to make our own decisions, we become more aware of our decision making. As we develop our self-awareness, We become more aware of how our brains like to learn, which allows us to learn more techniques. And after developing this stage, we are then able to start catering to our intentions through art. This is the most monumental spot, okay? To me, that's the final frontier of a developing artist, when the talent meets intent. It's easy to spray a stylistic pattern on every surface we come across in life, but the intention of an expression adds such an immense layer of meaning that the work begins possessing a status above something that simply gets pushed off as decoration. This status could influence your beliefs. This status could be a meditation that helps you become more self-aware. This status could even be something that helps your community endure difficult times. The utility of art is endless. Cool, all right. Woo! Now that we've scratched the surface of art utility and art development, let's go ahead and take a look at one of my personal favorite paintings that perfectly represents some of these themes, all right? So this piece, it took me about 3 years to complete. I started it while still attending the School of the Art Institute in Chicago, and I took it on the road with me after graduating. This was a pretty turbulent time for my development. I was in a unique position where I could see the imprint my academy left in my psyche, while also holding tight to my own isolated interests. So I wanted to make a painting with a solid concept while still remaining true to my intuitive process. This absolutely kicked my ass, all right? There were many events, we shall call them, where I painted one color over the entire canvas, minus a small little area, just as a way to keep focused on my goal. I was indeed excavating my own mind, my own curiosity and intentions as an artist. What most people see right off the bat is this little character here with the white face, or even the deer in the top right over here, or the flower on the bottom left, or even the millions of faces throughout. But as you lock into the overall image, you'll notice that the main composition is actually a person shooting a bow and arrow through the deer head. The bow extends downward into the bottom middle portion of the canvas, which leads the eye toward the flower, which is being held in the mouth of another figure. I would be an asshole if I said that every little image in this piece caters directly to the concept, but I wanted to make an image that represents the funny way our perspectives solidify what we think is true. I wanted to make an academic representation of Gestalt psychology in my own development style. The painting is titled Mind Bullets and Mouth Flowers because on the top right is the violent act of a hunter killing a deer while shooting an arrow through the forehead of the larger figure, making up the entire composition. And on the bottom left is the peaceful symbol of a flower cut from the ground, resting between a figure's lips. On one thought, you have this aggressive moment that is necessary for our survival, and on the bottom, you have this not so necessary display of, beauty and peace and whatever else a flower can represent. It begs the question of what is more or less moral. I'm not here to tell you the answer because there is none. There is merely a conversation on a very subjective prompt. And this is why I love this style of art. It doesn't demand anything from the audience. It doesn't subjugate the audience to an explicit happening or even opinion. It simply remains available for people to project their own thoughts, their own feelings, and their own meaning of what the work represents. My intention from the get-go with this type of work is that even if just on a micro level, it compels people to explore their own thinking, their own perspectives, and ultimately realize that you are the one who's in control of how you view life. Very broad, okay? Very broad terms here. I will say that even if I miss my mark and none of these intended factors, occur, the best thing that could have ever happened is that I have become a better person by doing it. So anyways, I figured, hey, Patty boy, what's the best way to put this episode's theme in practice? And what I settled on is a process of complete and utter crackhead chaos. I really do mean that, all right? It's a good exercise to loosen up, have some fun, get out of your own minds and try some new shit. Since today's episode is, sort of based on widening our perspectives through art, I find that this is an easy way to tap into a flow state where we can open up, play around with our awareness and focus, More times than not, when we open up ourselves up to new possibilities, we discover parts of ourselves we haven't yet been able to articulate. And so it goes along with one of my favorite sayings, stop to smell the flowers, even if you get lost in the lilacs.
Picture poppers. picture popper.
Hey guys, welcome to Patty's Picture Poppers. I don't think I'm gonna do the voice. Hey guys, welcome to Patty's Picture Poppin' Exercise, where we work on our brains, dude. No, retake it. Hey guys, thanks for joining me for an awesome... All right guys, the moment we've been waiting for. Welcome back to Patty's Picture Poppers. So the whole kind of thing that we're doing here is we're trying to get outside of our own heads. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that for me personally, that when I inhibit a flow state, which is what all this chaos allows us to do, right? You start opening your perspectives up, you start making new decision making that you normally wouldn't do when you're just using your normal materials at hand, right? So when I say flow state, what I really mean is that you're getting outside your own head. This is such a silly thing to do in the first place that your brain doesn't take it seriously. So you literally can actually make new connections, new perspectives on the materials, your decision making. You can internalize why you did a thing or later internalize it, whatever it may be, right? So maybe too much words. Let's get to the show. So here's how this gambit works. What we've got right here is a guideline, all right? And we have a 6-sided die. So this guideline right here is there's 2 brackets. We've got color and objects, right? And so as you see on the table here, you've got colors that go from 1 to 6. You've got objects that go from 1 to 6, okay? And so when you roll a number for the first category, that's the color you're using. Carte blanche, no cheating, don't be a loser, and then same for the objects, okay? So let's give it a go. Let's see what fates have in store for the Patty's Picture Poppers. All right, numero 4. So we're using our red, and we're gonna apply the red on our canvas with the paintbrush. How extraordinarily boring that is, all right? Let's get after it. I'll catch up with you boys in about 20 seconds of sped up momentum, but you get the rules, let's flow. You guys have been waiting in anticipation. You're like, why is this idiot using a bubble wand not the way he should be using a bubble wand to paint this painting with a bubble wand? So this one's for you, Mom. If I get fucking paint on Mills concrete right now, it's because of you. Anyways, thanks for the Easter basket. The bubble wand is awesome.
Patty's
Okay, so at this point, we're starting to form an actual composition, and that's where like a lot of the fun happens. So it's not just about, you know, painting and painting and painting until your canvas looks like it's like a brown gray mush. Really, it's about just like, you know, adding a little bit of flair, just a little bit of curiosity, just trying some new angles. And for me personally, what I do is let's do 2 or 3 more rolls right now, see where we end up. But typically what I'll do is, this is not too far off of how most of my paintings start. The chaos kind of like, it creates its own intuitive form. And then what I do is I take this home with me and then pepper it up with some small detail lines. I start outlining some of the imagery that I see within it, which is extremely gestalt. Sorry if I lost you on the relevancy of this exercise, but it's coming to full circle here. Let's do a few more rolls, all right? 6. If I get that fucking bubble on. Oh. All right. The lighting hasn't changed. We haven't been sitting out here all night long, rolling numbers, waiting for this to happen. You're seeing it live, guys. Double trouble bubbles with the black rubbles. I don't know. That's Yahweh just saying that he's here and present. You know, so you just gotta enjoy those little moments. Later, can we look up the probability of rolling those 2 numbers in a row as often as it just did? Let's put up the odds on the bottom of the screen. Because I'm telling you, it's like 1 in, I'm guessing 500. We're making history. And I promise, all right, we'll cut. Wait, okay, my promise to you is, I swear on my life, if I rolled the 6 and 1 one more time, I'm going to find a religion. I'm gonna find one. And I'm gonna believe in whatever that religion tells me to, because this is insane. Dude, what is happening right now? Okay. Oh. I really enjoy being agnostic, so that was good. That was a good moment right there. All right, we're doing shoelaces in black paint, and we're gonna call it after this one. I think that we've got enough information on the canvas. You know, I'll take this one home, and maybe next episode what we'll do is we'll show me working on it. But nonetheless, we got outside of our own frame of mind. We started something from a different approach. We got a little bit of a flow state going. And also, by no means was this tutorial meant for me to be in the flow state. More so just a suggestion to join me in the flow, baby, in the synchronicity, in the fucking neutron of the universe, where you get double, trouble, black rubbles. Hey, attention artists. Are you shitting a brick about nobody showing up to your super important solo shows? Are you wondering, oh my God, could I even rent out that goddamn venue to even show my 15 portraits of cats that I've collected over the past year? I got something for you. Best piece of advice I'd ever received from my own grandfather was, Petty, you gotta get the people to show up. So this is me telling you, don't advertise your show as an art show. Advertise it as a fucking orgy. I swear to God, everyone's coming. Not a single goddamn person in this town ain't gonna show up for a fucking orgy. So before you let yourself down, before you think that my 15 cat portraits ain't got no sense, lick of nonsense in his worlds, I want you to think about throwing an orgy and finding us on Facebook about the orgy.
That's all, folks. Pattycast episode 1. Yes, sir. You did it, man. First one in the bag. The Patty Cash. What a ride. The Patty Cash Show.